KDB. KDB.
Beats Planet.
And come on inside and get yourself something cool.
Welcome. What's up, y'all? Welcome back again. Another edition of Cuss My Teammate Out Live. Will Steele.
With your bitch ass.
Your bitch ass Will Steele. If y'all could only hear what Will Steele said to me in that car today.
It might as well been with your bitch.
You might as well. No, everybody got a BAN quota, right? Everybody got the amount of BAN they can take, right? Like some people gotta hold on. Some people gotta bitch ass. You know what I'm saying? Like Will Steele hit me with the, hey, you know what, Voch? You know what? That's why we keep losing. Your bitch ass. And I was like, oh God. Oh God. Oh, sorry. I was like, oh man, Will Steele ain't friends no more.
Bro, this is so funny because it might as well been that way, bro. Because look, y'all know, and that's the crazy thing. People now all of a sudden think I'm some type of homer, but in reality, that ain't the case, man. I just call it how I see it. And I was calling it how I saw it in that damn car ride, fam.
Chat, Sky was smacking the dashboard. He was smacking the dashboard. And the bad part about it, Sky, is we had to get out the car and sit in the hotel and be friends.
Yo, you know what? If we was Law, we would have recorded that. We really got some really good content out of that, man. Skywalker Steele, Voch Lombardi, fisticuffs, 100,000 views.
Law would have got his money. Law would have got his money. The Eagles content creators would have done their thing. But oh boy, I just laugh at what's been going on in the media. Colin Cowherd never had a loud chess game before. I'm like, I'm hearing LaShawn McCoy. I never would have screamed at Mike Vick. Well, Chip Kelly didn't let y'all raise your voice at practice. You know what I'm saying? I just had so many thoughts because I play ball, Will. I play ball. Yeah. And I've been there before. We've exchanged B words, P words, BAN, PAN. We've done it. We've pushed. It's crazy. We've seen fights, and that don't get as much coverage as Diz saying Dak, shut your bitch ass up. It's interesting the amount of coverage that this has gotten. And I remember playing center. My right guard was having a problem with the one tech that we was dealing with. The one tech was kicking our ass that day. Rest in peace, LJ. He was kicking our ass that day. And it was a bunch of BANs and PANs until we blocked them. And we never blocked them, so we just had to be BANs all day. It is what it is, Will Steele. That's competition. Now, when we line up and we get to whoop him, hey, that's when he gets to be BAN for the day. That's when we get shut your bitch ass up for the day. But we still teammates. We still partners. We still friends. Have y'all never played a competitive game of Madden? I'm from Mississippi. Have y'all never played dominoes? Have y'all never played Uno? Will, I got an Uno question for you later. I don't expect non-athletes to know. Right? But my problem is on the social medias is when the athletes come out and say, hey, this is fine. Why are the non-athletes still pushing back like it's not fine? The athletes told you it's fine. And then Dak comes out and says, it's fine. And Trey comes out and says it's fine. And this shit has made national news, Will Steele. Colin Cowherd talked about it today. LaShawn McCoy and his terrible takes talked about it today. What are we doing, Will Steele? Football coming on. Go ahead.
I've heard worse shit in a Spades game. A Spades game. I mean, you want to talk about dice. People lost their life on it. But you know what I'm saying?
Oh! Well, you remember Menace to Society? Samuel L. Jackson, the very first beginning of the movie, he wasn't in the movie long. He shot a motherfucker over a card game, son. Come on,
yeah, I hate that we have to even explain that, right? But you know what I thought about, bro?
Yeah.
And this is why Jerry loves this. I don't know that there's any other fan base that, you get this type of access, I guess, to practices and whatnot. Sure. I mean, I guess I've seen some Giant stuff. I've seen some Chargers things or whatnot, but man, I knew the star was big, right? But bro, it's training camp right now. I thought the season was starting. We would get all the crazy. It's training camp.
Sure.
And he said words. And there's people on Twitter that said, nah, he should have fought him. He should have fought him. Dog, I've seen a cornerback straight up still on a QB.
Yep.
And they went to the Super Bowl and it was good.
Yep. I fought my quarterback one day. I was a center. I wasn't snapping very good. He threw the ball to me and it was hot and I ain't like it. Dog, these things happen. But just as dudes, as athletes, as competitors, dog, what happens at practice, it just stays there. It stays like you understand that it's hot. You understand coach yelling and we can't cuss coach out as a whole different situation. So we got to cuss somebody out. Bro, that's just what happens when like athletes come together and do that thing. But some people have no clue what that's like. Some people don't have a clue in the world, what it's like to deal with that. But I have a take, Will, still.
Okay.
I kind of like it a little bit. I kind of like the idea, if everybody has this perception that your quarterback talking shit to your defense and your defense is talking shit to your quarterback, if they have the perception that they're doing too much, good, because we know what's up. They're fighting. They're competing. Dak Prescott said it best. He said, hey, man, we when you competing at this level, right? Now, when the Jets defense go against Zach Wilson, I don't expect Zach Wilson to cuss no goddamn body out. it's a mismatch, right? But when you got Dak in his offense believing that they're the best, and you got Trey in the defense, Micah whooping everybody ass, fuck it, believing that they're the best, this type of thing happens when two forces like that come together and they both feel like they're the best. Good.
Yeah.
Good. When Shady McCoy said, oh, well, nobody will never say that to Josh Allen, they punks. They soft.
I mean, they quite literally was yoking up Josh Allen, though.
Yeah. And look, how much better would those dudes get how much better would Josh Allen be if they was talking they shit to Josh Allen? And how much better would they get if Josh was making them feel horrific, just every time he made a big play or threw a touchdown? I love this. And Will, we talk about this all the time, bringing it to camp and what we've been seeing. This hasn't been a one-sided affair. Offense will show up one day and beat the shit out of the defense. Defense will show up one day and defense had their way today.
Yeah.
The O-line was looking bad. Wide receivers getting pushed around. We had picks. Offense had some plays. Offense was just running there and stall. But I love what you said on socials, Will. Still, hey, defense, DBs getting their lick back. Yeah. DBs are getting their lick back. Gilmore got busy. Diggs got busy. All these guys got involved. Wanye got. Where the fuck Wanye come from? You know what I mean? Broadus talked about it. Pat talked about it, on your show. Shouts out to you and your show, 8:30 in the morning, A to Z Dallas. Like, bro, I love this. Dak roll up, say, I'm whooping y'all ass, and Micah say, nope. Trey say, nope. Gilmore not gonna say nothing because he quiet. But dog, that's what builds this championship, Will Steele.
And then at the end of the day, when they get in between the lines against an opponent, they armed on. Right? Like, I don't know if you don't have brothers, right, Voch? So I got plenty of brothers. I've quite literally have fought my brothers, right? Not to the point we're trying to beat each other up, where trying to kill a motherfucker, right? But you fought. I mean, if you got a brother, you probably fought your brother at some point in time. But I remember a time where the same day me and him fought, in a way, we got a call that my other brother was involved in a situation, and immediately that shit didn't matter no more. We was jumping straight on that situation, and we forgot we was even fighting. Yep, that's what this is, man. Trayvon Diggs had a quote today. He said, look, man, I feel like it makes practice fun, and at the end of the day, that's my brother. I love Dak to death. There's nothing behind it. It's just competitiveness. It's just football. We got his back.
Hold on, Will Steele. What?
Yeah, it's just practice. I don't know why everybody's making that such a big thing. Like, it's football. This is what we do. This is what goes on the field. I don't know why people are in the business anyway. It's all love. It's friendly. Like, it's nothing against him. It's nothing like that. So, people just want something to talk about. People create narratives of how they want to justify a situation. But at the end of it, that's my guy. We got his back 100%. No one can say anything to us about anything. We're going out there every day and playing for each other every Sunday. So, like, regardless of what happens on the practice field, what we're doing, we making each other better. We're trying to get better. People just need to mind their business. Period.
Bitch ass.
That's what he really wanted to say.
Go ahead, though, Will. My bad, cutting you out. Go ahead.
No, you're right. That's what he wanted to say, bitch ass.
But man, it's just I love that. I love toughness from my quarterback. I love toughness from my defense. Cause I'm not saying that there's a struggle for power and leadership or anything like that. But I think this offense got something to prove, and this defense got a whole bunch of tricks that they just waiting to pull out. And Mike McCarthy came out and said it, and this kind of made the rounds on social. Hey, and we've been saying this for a while. We're still just patting on us on the back. Hey, man, we don't need to do joint practice with nobody. Like, look at who we are. Look at who we got, right? Yeah. And I imagine that energy comes through, like, the locker room, right? They know, like, when you listen to Dan Quinn, you listen to Trey, you listen to Gilmore, when you listen to those guys talk about CD and Brandon Cooks, they go, oh, man, boy, da-da-da. Boom, boom, boom. When you hear Tyler talk about Mozzie, when you hear Dak talk about the guys on defense and all that, when they talk about Trey, when they talk about, Gilmore, so smart. CD talking about Gilmore, man, I'm trying to catch him, man, but Gilmore crafty, dog. I'm trying. You can feel, Will Steele, that all these guys have this respect for each other, and that's all that is. This shit's gonna show on the field. Po Giants, and I hope Saquon happy. But this shit gonna show on the field week 1, Will Steele, and it's gonna be some chef kiss shit. You feel me?
I feel you 100%, man. Again, it's embarrassing we even have to explain this.
especially when it's real life football going on. When it's real life football and a game coming on today, y'all be like, is Dak getting respected? When consensus, people not even on the team say, hey man, Dak the best leader in the fucking league. I ain't never seen nothing like it. All of a sudden now, well, does Dak have respect in his locker room? I think it's nonsense. Hey, Will, say you want to know something funny? Watch this. I'm your host, Voch Lombardi. VOCHLOMBARDI on all platforms. Appreciate y'all being point guarded by the best in the business, Master William Skywalker Steele.
Yes, indeed, man.
Now that we've said hello, let's get down to business.
What's good with you, my guy? Yeah, man. I had to start it off like that, man. I had to kick it off that way because I tried to ignore it for the longest, but national media caught on, and you know,
we get drawn in sometimes, bro.
Yeah. Shouts out to our guy Christian, man, behind the scenes at Volume here. He sets up the live streams. I didn't really plan on talking about Dak today, but I got here the live stream said, "Why is Dak Prescott the most scrutinized player in the NFL?" I said, "Fuck it, we gotta talk about this. We gotta go ahead." I was gonna talk around the situation, but
they know what they're doing. They're good at it.
Shouts out to our guys, man. They work hard, and the harder I work, the harder I push. They meet me head on with it. So shouts out to my guys behind the scenes: Pat, Paul, Christian, Jason, Brumley. Appreciate y'all, man. Master William, got a couple clips here today. Nothing too much, nothing too crazy. Just a little audio for us to react to. Damn, boy, the phones, man. I tried to give them to work, man. Maybe I need a new computer like you, Will say, but my phone's just not working today.
The phone don't work? Hello?
Hello?
Damn.
Who's this? It must be one of them platinum motherfuckers got my number already. But hey, the phone don't work today. But we're gonna go through these clips. We're gonna talk about some of the things that we saw from training camp today, from some of the things on socials, and I got an interesting non-football question that we could talk about for a little bit. Will still should be fun. Nick Eatman did get a chance to talk to Tyler Smith, had a good long conversation with Tyler Smith. I got a clip that I want to share. And this ain't nothing that we don't know already, but this is just a mild flex. I don't call myself flexing a whole bunch, Will, still, but this is a very mild flex. This came out today, and if y'all don't miss shows, this is where the actual flex come from. Nick Eatman asked Tyler Smith the differences between guard and tackle. Tyler Smith said this.
I mean, the technique aspect is probably the most different. You know, when you're at tackle, you're moving in a lot of space, so you're always really quick out of your stance. Your movements can be a little bit more natural and fluid because you're operating in space against smaller guys. Whereas in guard, you know, all your steps have to be precise. They have to be fast. Your movements are tighter. Your windows for seeing things occur are way smaller because you're in a phone booth. So, you know, you could be looking left to right and things are just flying. So you really just gotta really kind of understand defenses more. You got to understand like defensive games more. You got to understand how to really work your leverage in a lot of aspects at guard. Whereas with tackle, it's just a little bit more natural for me because, you know, I played it more. So
now, Will, still, we ain't got to respond to this. We ain't got to react to this. You ain't got to say nothing. I just really wanted to just did y'all see the Tyler Smith interview? Shouts out to brother, don't miss show. Just basically what Tyler Smith has said here. Voch been saying for a while now, you know what I'm saying? You know, and not that I needed confirmation or nothing like that, but boy, it's good to have when I'm just teaching. It just does a little bit for the credibility of the show, Will, still. So when people don't miss shows, they've heard Voch Lombardi talk about the transitions between guards and tackles, that guard isn't just for players that can't play tackle, you know what I mean? Or that, you know, you got short arms, you got to play guard. Like, it's a certain skill set that you got to have. And I've talked about that, you know, about that set of skills like Liam Neeson. So Tyler Smith just came up here and confirmed that he said out of his own mouth some of the things that he's dealing with. And hey, if I said so, we moving right on to the next clip, Will. I just wanted to just flex for a little bit.
As you should, man. O-line guy. Don't say that lightly.
Appreciate you, man. Also, too, something else I was very excited about. I was listening to your show because I'm a fan of yours. Like, we're more than just co-workers and friends. I'm a fan of yours also. Will Steele's show A to Z Dallas on YouTube in the morning, 8:30 to 10:30. I didn't know that Duke Manyweather didn't like Joe Philbin. When this happened?
All last year, if I'm not mistaken, he was throwing hints a lot on Twitter. And if you reach out to him, he'll tell you straight up. But for the most part on Twitter, he has some words about Joe Philbin, man. He's not really. And does Joe have a job anywhere? Out of curiosity.
I ain't like the motherfucker neither.
Evil world we live in. Basically. Fuck them.
All right. I ain't like Joe Philbin. But your guy, Damon Clark, will still, not that he's not my guy, but you expect big things out of Clark. He's one of the 4 or 5 sophomore characters that we're expecting so much more from. Will McClay got a chance to sit down with the Kansas City Masterpiece on 105.3 The Fan. Here's what Will McClay had to say about Damon Clark and some of his projections for him. Me and Will talk about it for a little bit.
Year 2 in the system, and he missed a large portion of last year, the beginning stages of understanding the position and what he's doing and all that stuff. And he just came in, and first thing he wanted to do was get on the field. Now he got on the field. Now he's getting that experience. What Damon is extremely fast, extremely athletic. It's starting to make sense to him now, and there's he can make impact plays all over the field, and he can play on all 4 downs. That's a big key too, is to not be able to play on first and second, typically run downs. Can you play in coverage, and can you help on special teams? And I think he's going to be a big piece of what we do.
I don't know how much Damon Clark's going to be playing on teams, unless it's like some type of punt safe unit. But the one thing I will say about Damon Clark, Will Steele, if he had a knock last year, like it wasn't his athleticism, you know what I mean? Like he got out there, he looked healthy, he ran his ass around. All right, cool. But it was him seeing things. It was him diagnosing
mental processing,
offense in front of him, mental process and things of that nature. Now, this training camp is huge for him because he had a training camp. He had to get mental reps, and mental reps are cool, but you got to watch mental reps from the sideline. But those mental reps when you're in the game, like mental reps when you're in the game, it's kind of like fighting. You get hit with something, you go, damn, I didn't even see that coming. Well, next time you try to hit me with it, I'll know it. I just see this tail. I just know it now. So Damon Clark, hey, I know y'all running counter at me because that's what counter looks like. I know y'all going outside zone. That's what that looks like. Catch and throw stuff, deep passes, right? I'm more familiar with it because I've seen it, right? I got experience from last year, like Will McClay says, going to my second year. But now we're in this training camp setting where, hey, now it's competition. I'm gathering even more skills. I would love to have peanut butter watch for Damon Clark just to see what his size looks like from last year. But hey, we're bound to see him soon at some point. But with his athleticism, right, paired with just what he's getting from the shoulders up in terms of training camp this year, yeah, I'm on par with you, Will. Still, Damon should have a huge year 2.
Yeah, he'll get every opportunity. And this is from Kyle Yeomans, who just wrote this up the other day about Damon Clark. He says, quote, Clark has continued to grow into a defense after a full NFL offseason. He missed last summer with the neck injury that kept him out, but he's making up for lost time. He looks bigger and leaner while showing confidence, making smart reads, and taking the right first step consistently. So you were talking about the mental processing. It seems like that's coming along, which I just didn't doubt because everything I heard and read about him and listened about him coming out of LSU is he was a heady guy, and he was going to figure it out and get it not necessarily say get it together, but figure it out at the next level because he's a smart guy. He works hard and he has the athletic ability. So yeah, I'm actually putting a little pressure on him now, right? I think he's good enough to do it, so I'm gonna pressure him a little bit to do so. And if McClay said he's a big part of what they're going to do, I could easily see Damon Clark having a 90+ tackle year. Hopefully we get creep up to double-digit tackles for loss. That's what I really like. When I see a linebacker 8, 9, 10+ tackles for loss, forced fumbles, making some impact splash plays, I like that more than having 120 tackles and your average tackle depth is 6.5 yards downfield. I don't care for that.
Sure, 100%. And I would love for one of our media friends to get some more details on this, how our linebackers are going to be dealing with these gaps now. We heard from Coach Floyd during draft season on the draft show. 2 Aisha's actually in the chat box. Shouts out to you, man. But how we're gonna fight these gaps different. It's not just gonna be 2 gapping, freeing up the linebacker. Like we're attacking the gap. We're attacking these blocking schemes. I got a good feel for what it is, and I talked about it yesterday, and I described what I think it is yesterday, and what it could be. But it's always better to hear from the horse's mouth, and I want to know how much that is going to impact Clark and Van Der Esch, honestly, because both those dudes are going to be better depending on how your D line is. Will said, did you see Hankins flying his ass around today?
Oh boy, Hank, I got a setup for you here. Hankins, Bohanna, and Mozzie were all out there at the same time for a few reps, bro.
And they wasn't looking slow, Will. Still, like Mozzie, Hank and Mozzie can move, I know. Hankins and Bo was looking kind of light-footed. Pat Walker talked about how light-footed Hankins looking. I just scroll 2 scrolls, like 2 swipes, and Hankins in there, pew, 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 chasing down for the tackle for loss. You throw in guys like Chauncey, who's going to be a good run guy for you. And Osa, we know Osa's more of the upfield, bursty, big dude anyway. I'm just
and
this guy there is whoop today, boy. Go ahead.
Hankins was putting in work right in the offseason, and it looks like it's paying off. I honestly thought Hankins might get signed later. Just, hey, I'm a veteran. I'll come in August. I'll come in July or whatever. But nah, he put in that work, man, and I can't express enough how important he was down the stretch and in the playoffs against the run. He's huge. I think he's one of the main reasons why Mozzie's here.
Yeah. D Schiff wanted me to follow up on the question that he asked yesterday about fighting back in pass pro, and just like we assumed, Tyron Smith didn't give us shit. Tyron didn't give us very much information on that, and Nick even didn't ask Tyler about that. So we're just gonna have to wait around. We're just gonna have to, maybe that's
maybe we can use our resources and see if we can figure out what that's about, man.
Tap in with our friends for sure. Will still. Speaking of our D linemen and how D line is going to make life easier for our DBs and things of that nature. Here's Will McClay talking about Mozzie Smith. Let's listen.
And the thing that's impressed the most is just how strong and square and physically dominating he can be in the A gaps and the one-on-one stuff. We've seen a little bit of pass rush. That pass rush has to come on more. Now Mozzie has to challenge himself to stay with the pace. Hey, we're rolling. He's got to continue to improve his stamina and those sort of things. But we think we're going to get, you put him and Hankins, and we've got some bodies that teams have attacked us a certain way. We think that he can help us in that area.
And that just goes back to the focus. Will still hold on. Let me see if I can pull this back up on my rewind buttons. What that was, track number 2.
And the thing that's impressed.
You heard that, Will still? Can you hear Will McClay? Or did you hear Will McClay?
Yeah, I hear Will.
All right, cool. Let me just get to the end, because I think he said something important. I ain't even catch the first time. I was just whatever. Let's see.
Hankins and we've got some bodies that teams have attacked us a certain way. We think that he can help us.
Teams have attacked us a certain way. Will still. We got bodies, and we got bodies to fight off how those teams attacked us a certain way. We listened to Dan Quinn last week, and he talked about how some teams will see something and another team would do it because they think it's sweet. And Dan had to go and be like, "Hey man, give me a Hankins so I can deal with this." Like Carlos Watkins was a dude that was a practice squad guy, but he was so much better in the run that he just stayed on the team because he was a run defense guy. He didn't give you much in the pass rush, but that's just where we were. But talk about like the focus of team building here, right? It ain't just getting random guys. Like, we have a problem. And we'll have problems. And even Will McClay talked about cornerback 2 and wide receiver 2. Like, they went into it knowing that they have these problems, and they addressed these problems. But they ain't like they kind of addressed them, Will still. They addressed the shit out of it. So now it's not like post-bye week, Hankins. Hankins is here in camp now. We get a whole year of Hankins. Let's see what that looks like. You know what I mean? Like, we drafted Mozzie for that reason. He big, strong, and he's square is what he said about Mozzie. You know what I'm saying? Bohanna's a guy who is a third year guy now. We'll still third year guy.
Yep.
So we can even expect more from Bohanna and Osa being 3-year guys or whatever. And just that quote, Will, I just caught it at the end, and it just kind of like binged at me. It just goes back to making Dan Quinn's defense Teflon, right? We feel like we good at all this shit, and we did kind of identify as this pass rushing team last year. Will still, we're a pass defending team. We got rushers and we got DBs, and you talked about this too. you always felt like the defense was good, but it wasn't elite because it didn't cover all the bases.
Yeah.
Right. Like we knew that we were good pass rushing, pass defending, but there was still that run bug that we had, and teams kept running the ball against us. I kept saying versus Jacksonville on my watch along, there's this music that I cut on when it's time to pass rush and go get sacks and shit. It was like 3rd and 8, and I cut the music on because I was like, all right, they just ran the fucking ball wheel still because they just didn't want to deal with that, or they just thought they had the advantage running the ball. Right? It wasn't a draw, it wasn't a screen, it wasn't a fake pad. They just handed the ball off. So Will McClay saying, let me see what saying.
Well, hey, we've got some bodies that teams have attacked us a certain way. We think that he can help us in that area.
Man, yeah, just that quote. Just that quote just jumped out to me as I just played it right here. Will, Steele, you have any thoughts on what Will McClay just said?
I mean, I like that he brought up Bo in this sense because I think it was Broadus who said Bohanna was having put together some good days, and then today he was showing out a little bit too. The reason why I'm big on wanting to have 3 1-techs on this team is for that reason, right? If teams are going to attack us a certain way, we have the bodies to deal with it. Not just bodies, not just Jags, but guys that can do their job at a high level. So if he continues to improve, we know Mozzie and Hankins going to be here, but what if something happens to them? Like last year, Hankins got hurt. We suffered. We literally suffered on the front end and in the second level. So I know it sounds weird to say you're going to carry 3 1-techs. I would. I think I want to this year. I think you have a ton of pass rushers on the edge. You got Osa, you got Chauncey Golston, right? At some point, Faye Hoko, we don't know. We'll see what happens with Junior. Maybe Junior could do some 3-tech things. And once we get to the 3rd and longs, you're probably going to slide D-Law in there. You're going to see Sam Williams in there sometimes, DA in there anyway. So I don't know. And again, early, it's August 3rd. At this point, bro, I think I go a little light in regards to DT. I carry my 3 1s, a couple of my 3-techs, and just build around that, bro.
Somebody in the chat, and I shouldn't be paying attention to the chat. It was like, boy, the Eagles O-line gonna beat the shot at the Cowboys D-line next year. Like, all right. We sacked Jalen Hurts 4 times last year in that game when Jalen Hurts played, and we didn't have a 100-yard rusher. Miles Sanders averaged 3.9 yards a carry, and Jalen Hurts, who is running back 1, had 9 carries for 27 yards. So I mean,
yeah,
we added to that.
Yeah, the funny thing about the Eagles 2 games against the Cowboys, they didn't really run the ball well against Dallas in either one. Now they had a lot of yards in the first game when they had I think like 30-something carries. Yeah. I think they rushed for less than 4 yards per carry. The problem was, and this is the problem, right? When it's time to stop the run, they couldn't. They couldn't get off the field. The Eagles just literally ran it like 3 yards for every play, get a first down. They ran it 12 straight times. That, I think, was the game where Coach Dan Quinn said, nah. Yeah, we need to get a body up in here. 12 straight times, fam? No.
Yeah. So, basically, you know what I'm saying? Fuck off. Trying to find my beat. Bitch ass. All right, cool.
We ain't brothers, so I mean that.
Yeah, we not, bro. I know I'm talking crazy to this Eagles, but shouts out to Jimmy O from yesterday. Jimmy O is such a good sport, bro, and I love when callers they may say something crazy and me and Will Steele turn into some content. We'll laugh and we'll make a joke, but you was just a good sport about it, bro. I just have such an appreciation for when the callers, when the chat box guys, when we may have a back and forth, or me and Will may be laughing at something that you did or something like that, bro. Just being a good sport about it. We love when you were a good sport about it. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Jimmy O, because Jimmy O was the one to win. Did you see the Osa interview?
Yeah.
Did you see the Osa interview? Did you see the Osa interview?
The Mozzie interview?
Yeah, the Mozzie interview, yeah. And it just turned into a whole thing for the chat. And I just got so much respect that Jimmy O didn't get sensitive on.
And he went with it. He went with the flow with it. That's what I appreciate too. Like he saw what was happening and he just played with it. It was cool.
He went with the flow. Shouts out to Jimmy. Let's see. That's all my clips I got for today. We can clock out at 4, honestly. But let's talk about what we saw at training camp today. Now, Will Steele, pardon me, I wasn't all the way caught up on training camp, so I'm about to scroll through Twitter real fast. What did you?
I got a couple notes up if you want to read them.
Please, sir. Let me. pull this up and hit refresh so I can see. But yeah, from what I did see, I saw the not the offensive line. Actually, Terrence Steele had a cool little day. Like besides the offensive line getting whooped for the most part, I did try to find Terrence Steele, and it wasn't that I was finding Terrence Steele because I was worried about Terrence Steele. I just wanted to know what the knee was like, right? And Terrence Steele is going, y'all. Like he's in there, he's going, he's getting reps, he's playing, he's wrestling. So Terrence Steele's fine. So I ain't worried about him. I wish we'll go ahead and sign Zach Martin real fast because I do feel like a lot of this shit is Josh Ball fault. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of this shit is Josh Ball fault. And let me ask you this, Will. And I would love to know what Tyron Smith looked like when he's not blocking Micah Parsons. You know what I'm saying? Because we know Micah wins fights, but Tyron been dying horrible deaths versus Micah over there, Will Steele. Do you think? Okay, we know that you think that Micah's that good because you was first, but tell me about the Tyron decline. Do you think that Tyron's going to be a problem in the regular season, or you just think that he's just dealing with Micah Parsons right now and he's just going through some shit?
Gosh, I was wondering when this would be a conversation. Is this? And I know it's a different story because one is a guy like Terrence who was on the up and up, and Tyron is technically on the downside of his career. Is this though similar to Terrence last year, where people were freaking out about Terrence Steele because he was getting whooped by Micah Parsons, but we kept saying, yeah, but when he ain't on Micah Parsons, he's doing well. I have no idea what Tyron's doing when it's not Micah, but I think that's good because if he was getting whooped by everybody else that's not Micah Parsons, then it's a problem. So, yeah, he's getting owned by Micah Parsons, but I mean, I haven't heard anything. That's the unfortunate part about being down there. I haven't heard anything that he's getting whooped by anybody else, but he's going to go up against some good dudes. But Micah looked different this year, bro. He looked different, and we said this last year. You're not going to see Micah Parsons every week, because I watched Tyron against the San Fran game. He wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. That probably was one of his better games on the right side.
Yeah, San Fran got some dudes too.
They got some dudes. They got Nick Bosa. I thought he had some good reps against Nick. So, but Micah different.
Yeah. I mean, we're not seeing like Dante Fowler beat the shit out Tyron or nothing like that. You know what I mean? So that's cool. And if it does turn into a problem, then okay, well, Tyler is here. We was ready to put him at left tackle anyway. But to your point about Micah looking different, not only is Micah just like Micah's winning in different ways, Will.
Yes.
He's winning in different ways. And you can see the hands. This ain't some narrative. I do feel like some people try to out football talk smart themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll out say some smart shit just to sound smart talking football, but that ain't the case. People do that shit a lot. I'm like, you ain't have to say that right there. Just say he good. Just say he ran fast right there. You know what I mean? But Michael really is manipulating leverage, and he does have this feel for it, right? Like with a lot of these shuck moves, like when you go at the hip or the underarm, you have to feel it. It's a nuanced move, right? It's not, you can't coach when to shuck. You got to feel when to shuck or when to shove or whatever. You got to feel it. And it seems like Micah's been doing this shit his whole career. Now it looks that way. It looks like he's been doing it his whole fucking career. Like he's speed to powering. And it looked like he's been doing it his whole career. Will Steele. Now, when he runs past people, okay, well, shit, that's Micah. We know what he do when he runs past people. But it's like he's setting up the rush now, and he's using his hands now, and he's baiting with his hands like Tyron does him sometimes, right? And I'm like, who the fuck gonna block this guy? Who's gonna block Micah in real life? It may be a handful of dudes, but like I say all the time, offensive line in general around the whole league just ain't good at all. So if there's one person that can block Micah, even if it's 3 people that can block Micah, right? Motherfucker, that's 19 games where y'all ain't got no answer for Micah. You see what I'm saying? Dog, I'm just ready to see what it look like versus the Giants. Go ahead.
You see the training working, right? Like I know we all like to have fun about, and I say we all, I mean the internet, about when Zeke's videos drop, right? all that trash and stuff. Like, but at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, just we put on the film, but that ain't happening. But with Micah, you see what he's working on. You hear about Big Whit, not Jason Witt and Andrew Whitworth, another future Hall of Famer, I think. You see Whitworth talking about, him learning more of the nuances of the game and the details of the game at the position. He's gone out there now consecutive years with Von Miller, learning from Von Miller. And that stuff is translating on the field, on the practice field. When you see that with the guy who already is a generational talent, I don't even, what's another level that you can go, dog?
Even his boxing training, Will. So I saw a clip.
Yeah.
I saw a clip where sometimes in boxing you will throw out your jab just so your two can land. That's the same thing with pass rushing, right? I just talked about baiting the hands of the D lineman. If I'm faking you to get your hands up, right? If I'm just throwing a hand out the fake for you to get your hands up, and when your hands come up, I come back and swipe. That's a 1-2, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just looking at Micah, bro, and I'm like, man, it ain't just the physical skill with him no more. You know what I mean? Like it's the setups, it's the mentals, it's the chess game, Whether that be working with D Ware, whether that be working with other offensive linemen, because how he talks about training with O linemen is better than training with pass rushers or whatever, which is fucking brilliant. Man, I'm ready, Will Steele. I'm ready. And I would love for Micah to be done for preseason though. And camp and shit like that. Like I don't think Micah needs much more. Like we can wrap him up till Giants or whatever. I don't think we need to see no more, but Mike ain't gonna do that. But besides that though, Will Steele, like I said, Osa had a fun looking day. Bo was moving around pretty good. He beat the shit out of who is number 58? I saw Osa pushing him.
It was Osa, never mind. 68 got whooped.
Not Osa,
Bohanna whooped on Fournier.
Oh, that was 68. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And some notes, Fournier had 2 fumbles on QB exchange with Dak filling in for Biotish. And he's gotta show something, man. I got this theory here, and the Cowboys are going to sign somebody in the second, because we're getting to that point where they do it in the offseason and just wonder what position it'll be. I wonder if interior line is one. But Cox and coverage versus running backs is a cheat code. This is from Zach Wolchuk. Shout out to Zach, man. I fool with Zach. Dak moving really well. Best he's looked since ankle surgery, in his opinion, from a movement standpoint. The DBs had a strong day. Brian said defense got the best of the offense in 4th and goal. Kind of, same thing we were saying earlier today. The defense got their lick back. Seemed like it was a defensive side of day to day. Damon Clark flying around to the ball. Popped a nice run with Pollard out, 13 personnel, ran the ball opposite the strength. This is from Brian Broadus. And then another nice day from Bohanna, getting off blocks and getting upfield. So it seems like today the defense was like, not today, sir.
Let me ask you this, Will Steele. Do you think today was like an offensive install day for like fullback? Because I saw Sean McEwen at fullback a whole bunch. I didn't see Lipke. And look, Lipke could have been out there. Voch ain't see him. But from what I did see, and look, Aisha have been on the same Twitter, Twitter pages that I'm on or whatever. I didn't see Lipke at fullback. He could have been, but I saw Sean McEwen a bunch at fullback when they ran them I formations and things like that. Deuce would be running back or like Rico or whatever, and Sean McEwen would be fullback. I saw a lot of that today. So maybe I'm just thinking like, were they installing fullback shit? Go ahead.
I'm Sean McEwen fullback fan, bro. Last year when Kellen, somebody must have gotten Kellen's ear, and it might have been Mike. And we stopped seeing the what would they call it? The Hawk package? Sure. We stopped seeing these guards and tackles back there until the playoff game, and they wanted to put them off for 76 back there. That was stupid. But we stopped seeing, the fullbacks, and they were using Sean McEwen. So I had went and charted all of the plays, and like Sean McEwen was about like 95% in success rate. We're talking about either, getting to the spot, getting the block. And I'm like, hey, let's do that, because you can play action out of that. You can get Sean McEwen out there. You can't do that with, what's his name? Number 76, Avion Collins. You can't do that with Avion Collins, right? Yeah. So I'm a fan of Sean McEwen, doing fullback, H-back things. But I would love if Lipke could kind of be like, hey, I'm here. Let me take that role. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. But hey, that's all we got. Dak and the boys got that, got their ass ate up today, mostly because of the offensive line. Will, I was gonna ask Will, does he think offensive line is an emergency at this point? Looking that way, motherfucker.
The depth is the issue, bro.
Think about this though, right? Will, I saw somebody on social medias. They was like, Yeah, D line looked like they was beating shot O line today, and they didn't like they didn't like that, right? And then I thought to myself, we've invested a lot into the D line, and I think the D line is the better unit, And I feel like if offensive line, and I know you got to win some, but I feel like if offensive line came out and smoked the D line, I would feel away because the D line got all first, second, and third round picks. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all got dudes on the D line. You know what I mean? O line got Josh Ball. You know what I mean? You rotate some other characters.
That is something we have to take into account, right, Voch? Like Zach's not out there, but sure. I don't know about you. I asked you the question, but nothing has changed for me when it comes to the depth of the interior offensive line. And I don't know if you can count the tackles yet because we don't know about Willetsko, but I know Edoja be getting whooped out there sometimes. The interior nothing has changed for me. That still is a concern, which is why I would like to go out and sign someone. Last year it was today, August 3rd, is when the Cowboys brought in Anthony Barr. 2 years ago, I think 2021, it was late July. They brought in Malik. Was it Malik?
Ha Clinton Dix?
No, not Ha Clinton Dix. I want to say it was a safety. Yeah. It was Malik. And then that year, the Ha Clinton Dix year. KZN. Right. And then the Ha Clinton Dix year, they went out and got Everson Griffin around this, and I think August 8th. So this is the time where they get a couple weeks, right, in camp, and they can tell where we need to add a veteran. I think is interior depth at this point.
Maybe on one show next week, we ain't got nothing to do, we can look at the remaining free agents and we'll have a conversation, see who would be a great, last minute signing to come help out a little bit. But I'll be, man. Chuma ain't helping. Josh ain't helping. Fournier, man, look, because if Bohanna would have whooped 58, some kid I don't know, then all right, it would have been cool. But Bohanna whooping Fournier, that gives me some pause. That gives me, I am at full alert now. You know what I'm saying?
At center, too. And because my hope, I was trying to hold out hope for Fournier at center, Voch. Because at guard, I kind of lost a lot of hope. I mean, the tape was just not great to me. But I'm like, okay, he plays center in Nebraska. Let's give him a shot at center. He had a couple good reps in his rookie year at center. Let's see what he can do. He's getting whooped a little bit. It ain't going too well in camp. Let's see if he can do better in preseason. Because I remember 2021.
Sure.
2021. Terrence Steele was not looking great in camp. He looked improved, but improved from what he was in 2020 it didn't take much. And then in preseason, he not looking all that great. And then the season got here and he was fine. So maybe Fournier or whomever it is can flip a switch, but I think it's a legitimate concern. The interior depth.
People, some people miss shows with Steele. And there's one thing I always say. if there's one thing that's better than continuity, it's better
players.
Yeah. It's better dudes. You know what I mean? So and that's the problem. Like offensive line as a whole is kind of bad. And at least we know that Dak Prescott can tear shit up with the 30th pass rush win rate offense. At least we know that. But
I mean 2020, bro.
Yeah.
Remember the 2020 line?
It was
Tyron and Collins was out. Terrence Steele was in. Joe Looney, I think, had some run. And he started off. Who?
Which Cam was it at tackle? It was
one of them Flemings or something.
Irvin and Fleming, yeah.
One of them. And he was 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 he was throwing the damn ball. But now obviously you don't want to get into that point where you got to throw for 400 and 500 yards in 3 consecutive weeks. So, you want your offensive line to be improved.
Should have drafted
Brandon Knight. God damn.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a name right there.
I know he working Whole Foods right now, boy. What he doing? Anyway, let's read some supers. And then I got a non-football question for Will Steele. We might do these on Thursday sometimes. So we ain't doing nothing else. And I hope Will Steele got something for me, because if not, we just gonna end the show.
Should have told me beforehand. I'm like, oh shit.
Don't worry about it. You should have an answer. If not, I'll find a way to incorporate an answer for you. It's cool. On the Voch side, appreciate y'all. Naeem dropped a dub in the super chat. He says, actions speak louder than words. I don't give a F what anybody says, but their actions are one thing. But the actions of one, Brotherhood, and a two, I don't give a F what anyone says, but their actions are one of one. period. Brotherhood and 2. I don't give a F what, hold on. I don't give a F what anyone says, but their actions are. A gang of folks sick of the commentary from the outside. Appreciate you, brother.
You tried.
I gave it the good attempt, boy. Punctuation matters here. Appreciate you, brother. Naeem. Salute, man. Love you. But yeah, man. You know, Dak and Diggs love each other, bro. Dak and Diggs love each other. That's all that matters. Black Lion Drop 5 says Damon Clark looks like our strongest linebacker. He has Pro Bowl ability, and Jalen Brooks is balling in camp. He can run every route on the route tree. Peace, brother. Yo, Will, because I'm a fan of your show, right? Nacho called in this morning, right? And Nacho was like, yo, Will Steele, can I talk about some people that y'all probably haven't heard from? And Will Steele was like, hell yeah. Nacho said, man, Jalen Brooks looking all right, dog. Yeah, man. Hey, boy, man. Turpin, man. Hey, boy, Nacho proceeded to say everything we've been saying for 3 days. Shouts out to Nacho, though, man.
It's hard. It's really, really hard to get it past us because we have to prepare and research, right? So we're going to try. Yeah. If he would have Fehoko, if he would have, you know what I'm saying? Well, let's go. You know, one of these dudes, ain't nobody.
Mention Jalen Tober. He mentioned Tober, too. Like, no. Come on, Nacho.
It was like my man yesterday. Was it, who was it? J-Bo or J-Po? The dude who, the Mozzie interview? Jimmy O. Jimmy O was like, I'm telling y'all, man, you ain't going to believe it, but they shine right, dog.
Nation had makers play.
He looking better than Kelvin Joseph.
Oh boy,
you ain't gonna believe this shit.
Come on, Jimmy, we believe you. Otis dropped the 5 and says, I don't think I ever seen Tyron get hip toss. It's not that Tyron don't got it no more either. Micah just went to another level. Yeah, man, Micah ready, bro. I'm ready to see what that looks like. Appreciate you, Otis. Naeem dropped another dub and says, I'll get my super chats in mid-season form soon. Damn. Appreciate you, Naeem. That's what I'm saying, man. Be a good sport. I love that. Ralph dropped a deuce and says, hey, Voch and Will, what are your top 3 Cowboys? Who are our top 3 Cowboys?
Like of all time?
Of all time? Sure. I would say like your favorites. I think that's a different conversation, all-time Cowboys.
Darren Woodson. Oh, go ahead.
Well, mine are like Larry Allen, Dez Bryant, and like DeMarcus Ware. Those my guys.
Yeah, Darren Woodson, Dez Bryant, and Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin, number 1.
Yeah. You know, I'm like O-line guy, I'm trenches guy, but just something about when a wide receiver's good, like Amari Cooper, like he might be in my 4 or 5 somewhere. I'm such a fan of Cooper, man, and I'm a huge fan of Lamb, but man, what Dez Bryant brought to this team, oh goodness, sir. And yep, brother, yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about, man. He dropped the deuce in the super chat. Will, still, let me ask you a question, sir.
Question.
When you I'm about to say growing up, but I mean, shit, you might still do, right? Wherever you from, because this could be a regional thing. What are your house rules when you play in Uno? What are the rules?
I don't really have any crazy house rules. Like what rules specifically? Because I know people don't, like to do certain things, but what rules
Black
specifically?
People typically don't take out the paper and read the rules of Uno. So what we do, when I was coming up, when I was in Mississippi, you can put draw 4s on top of draw 2s. You can only put 2s on 4s if the color corresponds after that 4. You can count up and down, right? Like if I play a 2, I can play a 3, 4, and 5, right?
See, that's I don't play that way. I've never played that way. That seemed fun though.
Is it? Yeah. Or you can do what we call doubles. If I can play 4, I can play all the 4s in my hand.
Dang.
Or all, you know what I'm saying? But the regular game, I think, start with like 7 cards. We'll have 11 cards because you go through that game quicker. And if you pull and you don't have a card that's up that you can play, you pass. I know some people just pull until you get a card that or whatever. We pull, if we ain't got it, then we pass.
So I thought that was how you play, right? You just keep pulling. I think apparently the real rule states you don't have to do that.
Okay.
I never knew that. For decades I just kept pulling until you got that card, or you got like a reverse in that color, or you got, draw 4, draw 2, wild card, something like that. But we don't have any crazy. Now, all those rules you just said, y'all play that at one time, or y'all rotated like in poker? There's multiple poker games, right? But
that's a game of Uno.
Damn.
And then look, watch this. This is where the intensity get in, right? if you play like a wild card and you don't say the color, then I can play whatever I want on there because you didn't say the color. Like you have to say green and play. If you get lazy and you play it, it's blue, motherfucker, because you ain't called green. Or if you play your last card, right? Like you got 2 cards left. You better say Uno before you play that last card. Because if not, I'm gonna get you for no Uno and you gotta pull 2 more. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. I think that's common. That one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
what
ahead. About spades though? Because that's one where I always have to ask people, rules. Some people don't play to a diamond. Some people do play to a diamonds.
And that's why I don't fucking play spades.
Right. I like spades more than I like Uno, honestly.
Yeah. Well, spades is a better game than Uno. And it's huge in our community. But the problem with spades is nobody can really get a grip on the rules. At least with say like dominoes, right? It's really only 2 types of ways you can play dominoes. We either pulling or we not pulling. Like, like jailhouse motherfuckers don't like to pull. People on the outside, like they pull till you get the bone that you need or whatever. That's 2 ways to play dominoes. I've seen 20 different ways to play spades, Will Steele. Yeah, and the problem is, if black people, and I don't know what happens in Joe Sandberg and Kyle's in them house, but black people get so
animated.
Trey Diggs. They get so.
That's why I said I've seen spade games get crazy. Somebody, what was it? I just had it here. Big Flock said Joker, Deuce, Ace. See, I know people that do Joker, Deuce, and then the Ace.
I don't have time.
But see, I think it's actually less rules in spades than Uno. All that you just told me, bro, I'd be confused as all hell. I'd have to watch a couple games first.
I mean, it's more rules in Uno, but the variance in spades, right? Because if your mind slipped, you were like, I ain't playing deuce because it's better than blah, 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 blah. Oh shit, I forgot. That's the other house that do that shit.
Right.
Big Joker, we don't even play with jokers in this house. All right, you know what I'm saying? And then it's the whole team space to where your partner can get Trey Diggs with you if you ain't on the same page with them. You got to call your books the right way.
It's another one. First hand bid itself. Some people don't do that. We play that way, but some people.
I'm sorry, you say what now?
First hand bid itself. So you just like your first. Like what? What the fuck is that? But that's not that. But that's not. I don't think that's a crazy one though.
I've never heard of that. What is that?
So that literally the first hand plays out. So you don't bid your books for
you don't.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard that shit before, man. That's what I'm saying. And then look, it's not like, okay, well, I want to learn how to play spades like black people. I'm gonna pick up my phone and download a spades game. Man, the game don't recognize that shit.
No. Yeah, that's basic rules. You going.
You need a human. You need a human to play fucking spades. I wanted to ask because
somebody does no jokers. That's crazy.
No jokers, yeah. Some people play. They take the jokers out. They take all kind of shots the motherfucking day. They just do it. Motherfucker take fives out. It's whatever. Voch, how do you do laces and spaces? What is that? What's laces and spaces?
I thought that was a football thing. We call laces. Got spaces.
Wherever
it land on.
I thought it had something to do with spades.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I know some people. I don't know what y'all call it in y'all area, but some people call it free fraud. Some people call it free fraud. If you're playing teams, laces, spaces, you spin the ball wherever it land on, you get the rock. But I don't know what you're talking about.
Man, damn. The reason why this is brought up, shouts out to Bitches Love Sports Podcast, which is the best podcast name of all time. Jazz had a show last night. And they was talking about the whole Dak and Diggs thing. And we was like, man, a game of Uno can get competitive like that with your friends or whatever, right? And I believe L says something to the extent, my mind's a little blurry and L's here, but L says something to the extent that Voch ain't built for their rules or some shit or how they play Uno or whatever. So what we might do on twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi one day is have like a community Uno game where we cuss each other out and act like Trey Diggs, and that'll just be a cool little thing to do or whatever on a live stream. But he was saying that Voch ain't built for them rules that they do in Uno. So in my mind,
shit, you hear Voch's rules?
Voch rules ain't crazy though. Voch rule, because if you play Uno with some people in California,
bro,
they pull. Look, they pull till you get it, but you're gonna play one card at a time. Them games be 3 hours, man.
I know that is the one. That's the one thing I do hate though. Like they can go long. So if your way is quicker, that's dope. Yeah. But the rule where you said where you can go 2, 3, 4, 5, I've never seen that. Hey, I think that's interesting. I think I might add that to our crib because we got Uno right downstairs. They were just playing Jenga. My 2 boys. I'm about to say, hey, we adding this rule. I'm about to text Voch. Voch, what them rules?
Well, see, look, this is why though, right? Because we used to play Uno in music class, right? And I was like a senior and I just needed a class or whatever, right? We was in music class and all we'll have is like a worksheet. We ain't play no fucking music in music class. So we had a worksheet, and after we did the worksheet, the teacher let us play Uno. Niggas used to run through the worksheet. Right. So it'll be 6 of us, right? And it'll be like the first to 4 games win the whole day. Or we'll do like a countdown elimination depending on what the time looked like. So you needed faster games of Uno. So what we'll do is, all right, we'll give you 11. If you got 4, if 4 is down, you can play all 4s. If 4 is down, you got 2 4s, 5, 6, and 7, all my 4s, 5, 6, and 7. And it's like a fast game of Uno where you like really get through it, and before you know it, you can play 15 games and you keeping score with you know what I mean? It's dope that way, as opposed to being held hostage in one game of Uno. You know what I'm saying? One day we'll do it. One day.
You are a thinking man's man, and you always say, man, I need to learn how to play poker, bro. I really want to show you how to play because Texas Hold'em poker is my favorite card game of all time, and you can make some good bread there. But Texas Hold'em, bro, I think you like it. I do.
Well, see, this is my thing. I know how to play. And I've seen pros play it, but I've only played on like games and shit. I haven't played in front of them.
In person is a whole. It's a whole lot of psychology at that point. But it's still thinking man. It's still thinking man's game at the end of the day. Yeah.
Hold'em, 3 card, 5 card. Like I've played those.
Just Texas Hold'em 2 card. I don't. Some people like Omaha. Some people like High Low, Stud. There's a whole bunch of them, bro. And
what about laces and spaces?
I don't know nothing about stripes and solids.
No shit. Stripes and solids is great. I don't know nothing about that, dog. But yeah. We'll see when
I'll tell you a story. If I didn't find my path, I would have dead ass probably tried to go pro in poker. It was a point in time in my life, dog, where I was, I'm still good at it, and I still play from time to time. But like I was really going hard, man. But you got to go into tournaments. You got to win big tournaments, get your bankroll up. But yeah, dog.
Will still would have went to jail for counting cards and shit.
Hey, hold on. I'll tell the truth because it don't matter. I actually learned how to count cards and tried it at the casino. My ass was looking like this.
I need a new producer. Hey, look, you started tapping on the table.
21. Hit me.
Yo, arrest your mother.
No, look, it's not illegal, bro.
Count cards is legal.
They break your arm. You know what I mean? Twist your fingers up and stuff like that.
You know what I mean?
I gave it up. I did it like 2 times. I said, this is some bullshit. These dealers too fast. I'm too slow.
Arthur Wright dropped the diamond, says, it's really disappointing when ex-players like Dan Orlovsky and Shady act like they don't understand competitive life of training camp. Man, y'all know Chip Kelly. At the volume, well, shit, hold on. Marcus Hardison says, at the volume, that's me, Will Steele, and the makers of Uno. Laces and spaces, man. At the volume, why must you demand both responsibility and authority in all your endeavors? Because responsibility without authority is slavery. Come on, Will Steele.
Responsibility without authority. That's heavy.
You must demand both responsibility and authority in your endeavors, because responsibility without authority is slavery. Continue to demand both in what you do, gentlemen. Lions sleep outside. UNLV hold this L. Love you to death. Appreciate you, Marcus Hardison. Young Pimp, Young Lion, Young King, Young Angel. Appreciate you, Marcus Hardison. Adrian Lindsay dropped the deuce and says phase 10. Will, have you ever played phase 10?
A long time ago. I would have to read.
Phase 10, motherfucker.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something. I am very animated person when it comes to sports, when it comes to all this, because I see Jay said, look, Sky be getting excited. So I know when he get a good hand, I don't got a poker face. Dog, I wish I could show you some things. I wish I can't do that because I don't want people to think I'm crazy when it comes to this poker. Yeah. But my guy, I'm telling you, all this animation at the poker table, I could be stoic and chill. Trust and believe me. Man, I've beaten some big time YouTuber, vlogger, pros that be doing that stuff, dog. Real rap. I'm like that.
I like to play a game of psychology with Steele. This sounds fun. When I moved to Dallas, man, we gonna have some family game night. Goddamn, we gonna have, you know what I mean. We gonna boogie, bro. Like because you family. You cuss me out like Trey did. Like we family, we bro.
Our family game night every Friday, dog. So we can turn that into a thing.
I'll be off from the volume anyway because we don't work on Fridays. But anyway, chat. Love y'all to pieces. Get you into Muay Thai and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You've been wanting to get Muay Thai. Yeah. That's
the range. Ain't been back since.
Gonna go to the range. We're gonna lift. We're gonna we gonna get back right. Will still. Incredible week of content. We appreciate y'all for being here. If y'all wasn't here, boy, these shows wouldn't be as great, you know. But y'all were here, so we had to give y'all what y'all came here for.
Brother L.
What do you say?
Y'all see the Uno interview?
Shut up, L. We probably gonna do a twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi Uno game. You know what I'm saying? Is it gonna be today? Fuck it, let's do it today. We're gonna find like a little app on or something, or like something on the computer. Somebody help me out with that. Send me a link to like a Uno game where people can log in and do the thing. We can send a link and they'll log in and play, and we'll just stream it and turn it to a thing, and I'll cuss y'all out. Like Trey do that. That's twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi, my non-football platform. Y'all follow me on all my social medias at the same thing, VOCHLOMBARDI. Will Skywalker still had Pat NOC Walker on the show this morning. Man, Pat just goals, ain't he?
Man,
Pat just goals.
I texted him afterwards, especially after I watched that Dak interview. I said, man, inspiration. And
he ain't asked no bullshit questions either. Like,
no.
He asked man. Shouts out to Pat. Just seeing him work, seeing him build like we build and being a dude on the internet, like we on the internet, and then he had to sit down with Dak Prescott. Man, come on, man, can't beat that with a stick. Go check that out. But Will still talk to Pat NOC Walker also, and he talks to him every Thursday. What y'all call it? The
scientific method.
Scientific method. Damn, what was the name? It was supposed to be Will not a science.
Will Sky and the Science Guy. That's what it was supposed to be.
Got to figure that out, man. But A to Z Dallas on you, A to Z Dallas in the morning, 8:30 to 10:30. Check out my guy Will still. He has some of the best content in the ethos. And for the rest of y'all, I'll see you on Twitch later on. Y'all hold down for the Dose of Wosh and the Piece of Whiskey. Till next time, laces.
Got a question. Are Hawaiians allowed to laugh loudly? Or is it just aloha? I love dad jokes.
Aloha.